Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with DVD. How you doing? And I'm going to recap and give a brief analysis of the last two episodes of The Bell Collector. And I know it's just Bell Collector, but it don't sound better when you say The Bell Collector. But anyway, the thing about it is, I just want to get right on into it because I want to talk about Glenn and that party. So where I left off the last time, we were still at the party. Glenn was in front of this stud lady, telling her off, right? He and Cliff were dressed alike, which was weird. I don't care about anybody else in this episode because this episode was laser focused in on Letitia. And guys, did y'all notice that the episode prior to last week's episode, no timbre? We're gonna get into that. So I just want to discuss more about Amanda, Latrice, and the Glenn dynamic. So we have Amanda and Latrice. Latrice goes to see Amanda. Amanda says out of her lips, I have no malicious ill will towards Letitia. Let's think about that thing now. Because on one episode, you're saying that you all fly and shit, and you know you finer than she is. Well, in the next episode, you're saying that you have no malicious ill will towards her. So here's the breakdown of my analysis. I think you did have ill will towards her. I think you were attracted to Glenn. Yes, everyone in Ken, whatever, knows you to be a lesbian. However, you fucked a man before because you got a baby. So, you ain't strictly clearly. You kind of like some dick. So, that's my point on that. So, she don't mind getting a little straight and narrow every once in a while. Now, women who are strictly clearly, they can't stand to even look at a penis. Okay? And they can't stand no man unless he a friend of theirs. Not no horizontal mammo type of friend. Now, do I think she's bisexual? No, I don't think she's bisexual either. Hell, I think she's trisexual. And that means she'll try anything with a dick or a clit. Do I think she's diabolical? Absolutely. Do I like Amanda though? I kind of do. I don't hate Amanda, and I don't know why I don't hate her. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's from the SIP. But I don't care for Latrice anymore. You know, after that situation that happened with Akeisha and Latrice, I don't just care for her like that. So, move right along. So, we get to the conversation with Latrice and Cliff. Cliff fixes her dinner, right? And I don't know, this might have been on this episode, but anyway, I'll get to, yeah, this was on the most recent episode, but I will get to that in a minute. So I'll go to Carrie and the girls. So Carrie goes to see Letitia. Marie arrives as well. So they're petting her up. Now, gassing her up, because I want to get to the end of this episode. They're patting her up, they're gassing them. I told you Latrice was a snake. Now, see, this is why I can't get with Marie. Because even though she and Latrice are trying to get on a better page, she goes back to that whole snake situation. And Carrie actually takes sides without listening to Latrice's version of events. Now, the thing about Latrice that is allowing them to punk the fuck out of her, because, you know, she really, really ghetto hood chic. That's what I call her. So she's ghetto and hood dressed in Barbie clothing. Ghetto, hood, chic. But you can put lipstick on a pig, and what? It's still a pig. So, by the way, she had spoken to Akeisha. You already know she's still about that life. And I think Amanda is the same way. Now, I haven't met a person from Ken. I haven't met a person from Ken. Again, I have not met a person from Ken who didn't have, I would say, that type of personality. Always angry, right? Always ready to get body, and ride. Why they were like that? Hell if I know. I guess they spent a lot of time defending themselves. I don't know, but a lot of them that I had met, through my travels through Jackson, were that way. So I can give you a little insight about, Ken folks in general. Do I have people from Ken? Absolutely. My aunt was from Ken. That's a different story for a different time because I've already talked about that. But my point is, why even go into the relationship that you had with Latrice? You should be getting into this situation with eyes wide open, seeing as how whatever you went through with Dark Beard. I call him Dark Beard because they were dyeing his beard on this episode, and she wanted to get rid of that little bed that he had at the house part, which is in the same yard as the barber house. But the thing about it is, barber house, whatever. The thing about it is that I don't think it's fair that Carrie took sides already, and nor do I think it's fair that Marie is bringing up old beefs. Now, mind you, if you know anything about Carlos King and you know anything about the Belle Collective, then you would know that this man has already shot the episodes plus the reunion, which is still foolishness to me because there's still so many things that's going on behind the scenes that should be discussed in the reunion. And he does his shows like that. He tapes his reunions far into advance from the shows to me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't even like when Andy Cohen does it, but he does it like maybe like a couple of weeks before the last episode airs. But this dude, years or extended months. Look what he did to Love and Marriage DC. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, the point is, I don't like the way Karen has taken sides. Then we get to Glenn and his stepfather. Glenn's stepfather is gassing the hell out of him, right? Oh, you's a good boy. You's a good man. Letitia's lucky to have you. And then Letitia comes out. And she's like, I'm tired of people messing with us. Glenn, if you messing around with me, I wish these people would just leave us the fuck alone. No! See, this is what your problem is, Letitia. You don't understand that your husband is the problem. Not Latrice, not Antoinette, not the baby mama of the so-called baby that could have been his baby. The central issue that causes all of your problems is your husband. You are sleeping with the enemy. And I don't care what nobody says. This whole little story about you having him since high school. First of all, they don't jail with me. It's a lot of dramatics and a lot of antics that going on with you guys that I don't think is real. But to play with your marriage in this form and fashion for so long makes absolutely no sense to me. Because Glenn would definitely not get the opportunity to make me look like a fool on TV. And Letitia, your self-esteem is down in the toilet. Because I believe that you holding on to him because you think he the finest thing since sliced bread. You actually think this man is sexy. He kind of favors my uncle. I wonder, is he in relation to Annie Whitfield in the Decatur area? Because I got clear he looks just like my uncle. and his son, D'Angelo. I bet you they are related. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is, he charms her panties off her, but he knows he could do just what the hell he wants to do and she won't go nowhere. Okay, move right along. Let's get into the next episode. So on the next episode, we have Carrie. Carrie is planning a trip to the Gulf Coast. Now, remember, Selena and her man ain't still at her medicated. So they go out to, it looks like the reservoir, darling. And they have a crab, child, don't say crab boil and make them sound like they about to eat good. They have a crawfish type boil. Because I'm going to say type because a crawfish or a crab boil in America, not just the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, but like in Maryland and DC, all up and down the West Coast. I mean the East Coast. What am I thinking about? What am I talking about? You know, we're from the East Coast. All up and down the East Coast, from Mississippi to Georgia, all the way up. Louisiana, Texas, all the way up. When we have a crab/crawfish boil, because I don't do crawfish at all. And I don't understand why Carrie was acting like this was some damn new invention that she was bringing to Jackson, Mississippi. As many damn crawfish restaurants they have in Jackson. Stop, girl. We get our damn crawfish out the ditch. Excuse me, eat them if that's the case. Weather changing. Excuse that. And I'm not cutting it out either. But the point is, she's sitting there like she introducing them to something. They sitting there like she is introducing them to something. And everybody's looking like idiots. Now, what they could say is, I don't eat crawfish. Or they could say that I've never been to a crawfish boil. But what they can say is that these things are new to Central Mississippi. Carrie, you didn't invent a crawfish boil. In that country, no, take that back. I take that back. The damn kind of crawfish boil you doing, you might have invented with mayonnaise and a piece of light bread. Now you might have invented that, but you didn't invent the boil. The boil was invented in Central Mississippi. Did it travel to the Gulf Coast in Louisiana? Absolutely. But we did that first. We taught y'all how to cook. You know, catching seafood right out the ditch, right out the pond. The pond, not the ocean, and not the Gulf Coast. Or should I say, not the Gulf of America. Shout out to President Trump for calling it the Gulf of America. And yeah, you might invent that light bread boil, but you didn't invent no crawfish boil, because the ones that I've ever heard of and seen, first of all, you got to have your Old Bay. Then your other seasonings and what's not your garlic and your. I ain't seen none of that going on. I ain't seen no taters. I didn't see any corn. All that is in a bowl. You don't have a bowl with just crawfish. And all of them was sitting there like, ooh, what is this? How you gotta stuff the tail and lick it out and all this foolishness? No, man. I ate crawfish once in my life. But just because I've only eaten it once in my life, that does not mean that Carrie Paul introducing something to these ladies. Surely Selena's ghetto ass done had a damn crawfish boil before. She's sitting up there looking like she ain't never been to one. But anyway, during this episode, we're getting ready to go to the trip, right? So we get to the trip. We go to this Gulf Coast quote-unquote mansion. By goodness, garlic G. That is the smallest mansion that I've ever seen. And I've seen plenty of mansions in my day. But I'm pretty sure that one is made out of wood and chips and whatnot. And on the Gulf Coast at that, child, a good breeze by Katrina knocked that right on down. Katrina Part 2. Or whatever they call the next hurricane hit the Gulf Coast. Holy be that one don't hit, but you know how the Gulf Coast is. You never know. Well, excuse my stomach. I'm not hungry, but a little bit. But I'm about to close anyway. I just wanted to get to the events of the Gulf Coast. Then they go on this alligator adventure, and they traipse around through the Everglades, if you will. And Selena loves baby alligators. Oh, before I get to that trip, this is the episode that Tambra appears on. She is talking to Greedy's ass about finance. Greedy seems very nonchalant about how he's going to take care of London Simone. I tell you what, motherfucker, couldn't be me. Because when I had Ty and Zai, it was no discussion over money. I didn't give two shakes of a rattlesnake's ass who got mad at me. Something was going to be paid, and something was going to be paid up front. Now, if you don't have this nigga on child support, because y'all are quote unquote together, or whatever y'all got going on, because it don't look like y'all together, honestly. But then again, I have to take that back. I follow Tambra on Instagram. I don't ever see dude on Instagram with her. But then again, it's so much that I see from following her versus what I see on the show. That makes sense. Because following her, you would think they were still together. And then knowing people that she knows, you would think they still together. I don't know. They might have a TV situation. Hell, it didn't look like he was just coming over to the townhouse to say hello. But the point is, she wants London Simone to have a future. And he's with good finance. And he seems so nonchalant about it. And I like Greedy. I do. But baby, you got to go. Greedy, if y'all ain't together, and if y'all are together, then you got to go. This relationship, it could have been a relationship of convenience. You needed that baby, you got your baby. And things are just not coagulating properly with the two of you. Because finances is very important. Then you might need to move right on along. But anyway, we get to this beach house and we find out that, Letitia and Latrice are sharing a room. No match on TV. Has bunk beds that I've seen people share a room in. Huh? What the hell? Everybody gets a room in a mansion. That's what I thought. Especially when it's on the 8 bells. Might be 7, hell. But anyway, once they leave the Everglades, they get back to the place and they have this fabulous dinner. But we got to have a mess, right? So Letitia starts in on Latrice right away. He's like, well, I feel like you set me up. And Latrice was like, how could I set you up when you all were invited to a nice event? Did I know that this was going to happen? No. Latrice is in confessionals throwing Tambra up under the bus. Didn't I tell y'all that their relationship was a friendship of convenience? She threw her ass up under the bus as soon as she got a chance to. And remember what I told y'all, my followers, long time ago days. She has no fucking loyalty to Tambra because she used to be right along with Letitia calling her a liar. Now, Fast forward to back to the event. So we get back to the event, and she's still making her point about who's at fault. And so she goes on to say, well, if you want to look at somebody, look at your husband. Bingo. Again, the centralized figure and all of this shit is Glenn Turner. With his D'Angelo look. I'm telling y'all, everybody was saying he looks like Lil Boosie. I'm telling y'all, he looks like my uncle's son, D'Angelo. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, D'Angelo part 2, because I'm sure he's younger than my uncle's son. The point is, D'Angelo part 2 is the centralized troublemaker in all of this. If we eliminate that and we just keep the bells, we can even eliminate Woodstock, aka Cliff, Mr. Mama. And that was this episode where he was telling her about her dress that looked like a gown. But he was talking about how he hadn't talked to Glenn. Well, yeah. Because Glenn is over there with Letitia filling her head up with bullshit, which is easy to do. She seems so damn gullible. It is damn ridiculous. She's sitting at that table looking at Latrice in her face, blaming her for everything. It is amazing to me that she is not holding Glenn accountable for anything, unless she's not doing it on camera. I would love to see it. I want to know how much she's holding him accountable. Because she looks like a damn fool on this show, dealing with this man. At least Marie did divorce that one time. Even though she's claiming like she's back with him. And that might just be for a storyline. I mean, they don't have no chemistry. Him and his black beard. I call him on oh, you know how they call Popeye the Sailor Man. I call Cedric Blackbeard the Sailor Man. So her and Blackbeard are really together. Drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all think her and Blackbeard are still together. But anyway, Marie told Latrice, but she's your friend. And then Latrice like, pump your brakes, Marmar. This don't have anything to do with you. Now you know I'm doing her hand movements and her facial expression with her little ticks and irks and her little quirks. Now mind you, she was down there to the Carlos King show, not saying a word, not saying anything. She's saying a lot of stuff, but none of it making sense. Just like her disagreement with Lakeisha. I don't know what happened with her damn Jackson State education that allowed her to get on TV and have a business and not have a voice. But it must have been her talent and her beauty and the way she does hair. Because, baby, them words ain't there. The words that are coming out of her mouth are not there. It just seems like that's how Letitia runs circles around her. It's because she doesn't know how to have the quick comebacks. And then Letitia, well, while she doesn't appear to be as smart as Latrice, she's a damn wordsmith. So everything that Latrice said, she has a comeback for. She knows how she's going to manipulate words and manipulate her into the audience believing that Glenn is damn innocent. It'll take a strong mind to believe that Latrice did not set this whole thing up. Do I think she set it up? In many ways, I do. But again, like I said, I sort of like her, man. I don't know what it is about her. But anyway, because nobody else like you, man. I'm the only reviewer that like you, so watch my videos and pump them up, because I'm the only one. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, I am on Latrice's side in a way, because like I said, do I believe she knew what was going to happen? Yes. Do I believe her and Amanda had talked about it? Yes. But do I think that this is all on Latrice just because she had that party and she had those questions there? Absolutely not. I believe that the central character that should be to blame in this is the sun. And the sun is Glenn. And all the planets revolve around Glenn. And Tisha is big old Jupiter, revolving around Glenn and allowing him to just straight up manipulate her mind. Drop down in the comments and tell me what you think. Do you think that this is all Latrice's fault? How many of you out there think that this is on D'Angelo Jr., aka Glenn? Boy, if I put a picture of my uncle's son D'Angelo on here, y'all be like, yep. That's not who he looks like. Lil Boosie is not who he looks like. He looks like D'Angelo. But I'm not going to do that because I kind of like my uncle's son. I mean, you know. But anyway, now, he's my auntie's stepson. That's why I call him my uncle's son. But that's neither here nor there. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. Share the video. Why? Because sharing is indeed caring. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. But don't forget again, let me know who's at fault. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. Deuces.